Welcome back to the garage, guys. Although I'm standing right next to the skyline, main theater will be off the camera the STi. Remember last week the Fleißaufgabe of welding in the top part of the rocker panel cover, and this little guy here, this transmission jack, will have a small guest starring role in it too. So there's nothing to it but to do it. Let's go. The thing is, guys, today's plan is to use the transmission jack to help the sill, the rocker panel cover, find its form before we weld the last parts, the last beads, the last tacks. And for this thing and a piece of wood will come in very handy.
Time-lapse mode. Engaged. What you're looking at here is the art of thermal survival. Pass number 1 on the sill repair. We are laying down precise 2 to 3 cm tack welds, or just over an inch for our imperial friends, followed by a generous 5 cm gap. Lather, rinse, repeat down the line. Right behind the torch, Adrian, armed with a wet rag, desperately trying to keep the metal from warping into a modern art sculpture. And once that's cooled, we do it all over again. Another 2 to 3 cm blitz in the remaining gaps, until the top seam of the new sill is almost fully locked down, slow, steady, and terrifyingly close to a disaster. Behold, the transmission jack making its grand, highly anticipated entrance. Paired with a chunky piece of timber carved with custom notches to grip that slippery flat sill bottom, we clamped the whole ensemble down for dear life. Because physics dictate that a flat wooden beam will try to escape under pressure, this rig was engineered to shove upwards against the lower edge of the sill, forcing it brutally back into submission. And just as order is restored, the DJI Ronin decides it's had enough of our mechanical theater, goes completely rogue and pans away, leaving Adrian and me frenetically driving wooden wedges underneath the primary timber just to keep the notched beast from kicking out and destroying the universe. This is why we risked life and limb with a transmission jack and an escaped piece of timber. We are now sealing up those final gaps while the rocker panel cover is held under absolute unyielding tension. And if you look closely at the welds right now, well, actually you won't, because they're coming into frame in a few seconds. But when they do, you'll notice these final spots are significantly wider, chunkier beasts. It's not an accident, it's science. And I'll explain why in just a moment.
I don't know how long the time lapse will be that I have just filmed and you will just have seen, but trust me, it was a few hours with welding, stopping, cooling down, having a little bit of barbecue and going back to the rocker cover. But what I can show you in the close-up is that you can see different sizes of tack welds. This has several reasons. The biggest and foremost reason is my lack of skill. Sometimes the 1 millimeter space I told you last time wasn't a millimeter. It was a half a millimeter or 2 millimeters. So the molten metal has different time and different space to settle, to harden. So the blob, if you will, has more space and can flatten out more even than when it has less space. And thus some are bigger, some are smaller. The second and more purposely made choice is that some have a bigger burn-in than some others. That means although the space itself was the same size, I held the welder a little bit longer so that we got a little bit more heat, and the place where the adjacent metal melted was a little bit bigger spot, the weld, had a little bit more time to spread, to heat up the surrounding metal, and thus gave it an even better, stronger connection. So first I did the small ones in steps of a few centimeters, here and there and there and there. Then closed the gaps again a little bit more. And when I had only left a few gaps and already a relatively strong connection, I started, for example, back here and here, there and there, to make the welds a little bit hotter, a little bit bigger, and give it a little bit more penetration. The metal had enough sound structure and connection to not completely warp, because the rest was already done, and we got the extended benefit of a better, stronger connection. Yeah, so much for that.
And panning across, we find the clamps holding the lower edge of the rocker panel cover tight against the sill. This, right here, is the exact reason why we had to notch that wooden beam, so everything locks together without slipping into chaos. With the metal secured and tensioned, it's time to unleash the tools of true craftsmanship. Enter the angle grinder with a grinder, followed by the handbell sander, violently erasing the evidence and smoothing out that seam until it looks like it was born there. Beautiful.
Guys, I'm here. Look at me, guys. Next thing is grinding down here. But not only welding sucks down here, grinding does as well. And so you and I go separate ways now. I go home. You can't stay here, but you don't need to go home. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this episode. Please like, share and subscribe. I see you next time. Bye bye.